What's good, y'all, man? It's time to react to one of the best games in college football this weekend. Besides USC, Michigan, and obviously Utah and Oklahoma State, this game was one to watch back and forth the whole time. It was really a great Big 12 matchup. When we think about Big 12, we think high scoring, electric offenses, dynamic quarterbacks. We got a little bit of everything in this one, man. So let me first off give a shout out to Colorado for this win, obviously Baylor as well. But I want to talk about the grand scheme of things, what this win could mean for the Buffs going forward. Let's go ahead and give some props to the best college football player right now, and that is Travis Hunter, the face of college football. And they need to have a distinct award. Like, it's going to be interesting what they're going to do as far as the Heisman this year, but we really have to stop making this such a QB award for the Heisman. Like, we think best player in college football. Now, I know Cam Ward, one of my favorite players right now, plays for my favorite team. He balled out 304 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. But this dude right here is the truth, bro. We're going to talk about his stats here in a second. But I just want to talk about the end of the game. I mean, he's 1-on-1 with the running back in the hole, right? Obviously, McCurry comes down, gets blocked. And he's 1-on-1 and puts his head right on the football, forces the fumble on the goal line when Baylor's about to tie this game up, and it results in a touchback. You can't be more clutch than that, bro. You cannot be more clutch than that. Like, that is what Travis does. And time again, he always comes up with a big play. Like that one drive they needed to tie the game up, they went to him twice. You know what I'm saying? And key critical downs, and he came up with a big play. Like, you just can't teach his level of talent. I've already talked about it on my channel and said this guy's a unicorn, and he really is, man. You don't see these type of players growing trees every day. You just don't. He is one of one, and we got to give him that respect that he deserves, man. We'll see how it goes on the next level, but I really think he could play potentially both sides. He makes big hits. He showed here that he could make a clutch tackle. He makes clutch plays, finished with 7 catches for 130 yards. The kid is just electric, man. And I mean, I think he has the potential to be one of the greatest to do it. And I think he can really, when he goes to the league, he can set a new parameter for these special athletes like him playing both sides. I'm not saying it's going to happen with everybody because you have to be a special sort of player or talent. But I think he could make record-breaking money for himself with just how elite he is, potentially playing a little bit of both sides, man. We have not seen players like this. So I want to give him a shout out before we get into the game. All right, now on to the game. I do want to say this. First off, shout out to Colorado for being a fight back. This is obviously the biggest comeback in Coach Prime's career. They were down 24-10 at one point. They were able to come back in this one, and make some noise a little bit, cutting the deficit at halftime. So I like Shedeur, but Shedeur holds the ball too long. That's one of my gripes with him. Like, I know in the second half they let up probably like 6, maybe 5 or 6 sacks. The offensive line in the first half was doing a great job. They got to call something that's better, that's not as long developing in plays, shallow crossers with the tight end. They got to call some different things, man. Like, he had a good game, 341 yards, 2 touchdowns, but I think in them critical moments, like when he took them 2-3 back-to-back sacks, like, I know they was coming with pressure, but they got to call something quick. Quick screen, tight end screen, hitch routes, shallow crossers, right? A quick out route, 5-yard out route. They got to call something because I think he holds the ball way too long sometimes, and I think it's to the detriment of the team. And then continuing to kind of build this rushing attack. Obviously, shout out to Michael Welch. He was here back in Georgia. I think he played for Baldwin. Was a 3-star recruit coming out of high school. He stepped up big with the touchdown, the game-winning touchdown, but continuing to have a little bit of balance with that. I mean, didn't get over to 100 yards, only 2.2 yards to carry, but it gave them at least a little bit of balance, especially with Isaiah Auguste and obviously Michael Welch. So, got to continue to get that. And I do want to say they stepped up big, man. That Hail Mary, man, I didn't expect that to happen. So, shout out to Shedeur for that. I don't want to give him credit there. Being able to scramble out the pocket, throw it up, and LeJohntay Wester coming up with a big play. He had 4 catches, 68 yards, and a touchdown. So, like, if Colorado's going to make some noise this year, they got to keep having other players. And my worry with Colorado has been, like, who else besides Travis is going to step up for this team, right? And they got a full contribution from everywhere, right? It wasn't just Travis. Travis had an elite game, but they got contributions from everyone. Mario Miller had a big game. So if they can continue to get these kind of contributions from the running back room, from the wide receivers of Mario Miller, I do like 14 as well. That's Will Shepard. He had that drop, obviously, towards the end of the game that could have obviously tied it up for them. But overall, he's a pretty good receiver. I like what he's able to do on the football field. But if they continue to get these contributions, it will be big for them moving forward. Now, on to Baylor. Baylor had their chance. You got to knock them out the box, man. And they should have talked to number 8 after that play where Will Shepard nearly caught that touchdown pass. You got to sit him down like, hey, man, look, we're going to run coverage to this side. We're going to double here. Like, you just can't allow that to happen. And they need to start having these defensive coordinators talk to these players. When a quarterback has time and he's rolling out of the pocket and creating, plaster the receiver you're at. You know what I'm saying? Stay on him until you feel the ball coming up in the air, because that was inexcusable for that to even happen, in my humble opinion. But I do want to give a shout out to Sawyer Robertson. He had a big game, I thought. Took care of the football. Didn't turn it over. 3 touchdowns in this one. 9 carries, 82 yards. Had 148 yards passing. He did what he could in this one. Also, shout out to the receivers, Hal Presley, Monterey Baldwin. All of them had good games, man. So want to give them a shout out as well. And they picked up 165 on the ground. So you can't ask for more. It was a well-balanced attack. 165 on the ground, 148 through the air. And last statistics I want to talk about with Colorado is that they dominate time of possession, 36 minutes to just 23.52. So that's the formula you want to have at 432 total yards. You want to be able to control the football, be able to have it on your side, and be able to control the clock. And when you have a decent running game, you're able to do that. So they got to continue to do that. I do want to say this about Colorado overall, though. These kind of wins like this can help galvanize your team, right? It helps put you in the right direction of what you want to do and what you want to accomplish. So I know it was the Big 12 opener. Obviously, I know Baylor, I'm not going to say they're a world beater. They still got tough games on their schedule, Colorado does. But winning in a game like this against a competent opponent, and we can say that this is a competent opponent, winning this type of game goes a long way for your confidence, depending on your brothers, and knowing they're going to step up big for you in big moments. So for what Colorado's trying to build and what they're trying to do, this is a magnificent and this is a huge win for their program, right? Like I said, biggest comeback in Coach Prom's history, Coach Prom's tenure there as a head coach, right? So for them, continue to build, stay humble. But I think this win could really propel them going forward, man, as far as confidence and knowing your guys are going to step up. The defense, I thought, for the most part, I know they gave up 31 points. I know they gave up 313 yards. But when they needed the defense to get stops, they were able to do it, man. So I think this win for Colorado looms large. I think it's going to help them going forward. And they got playmakers back there defensively. They're able to create some pressure. I know, like I said, the run defense wasn't the best. But in the big spots, when Colorado needed plays defensively, they were able to make them. And we could not say that a year ago. Like, I'm just going to be 100% honest. We were not saying that a year ago about this team making key critical stops when they need it. And this team can do that. Still got to work out some things on the offensive line, right? Like I said about earlier, calling some better plays, making it easier for Shedeur where he doesn't have to hold and pat the ball so much, getting the running game going so that you can build off play action so you ain't always in the gun and it ain't always in pass known situations. They're going to have to work on those things. But overall, man, good win. For Colorado fan, you got to be excited being able to come back. And the likelihood of you winning this game were low at that point before he threw that Hail Mary touchdown. So, got to feel good, man. Doesn't get easier for Colorado, but like I said, this one can go a long way in what they want to do and what they want to build, man. So, shout out to the Buffs for a big-time win, and obviously shout out to Travis Hunter, man. Like I said, you start having that conversation like, is this Heisman, is this a QB award, or is it for the best player in college football? Because to me, he's the best player in college football, and he's affecting winning. They're 3-1. I'll leave it at that, man. Y'all comment below your thoughts on Colorado's victory.